she looked, the way she had to have the color of her hair.
Welcome back to Hannity. While the VA continues to betray the very people who risk their lives for this country, our commander-in-chief, rather than stepping in to fix the situation, is revealing once again how misplaced his priorities really are. Let's take a look at the president's schedule from today. First, he met with travel and tourism CEOs to discuss the all-important issue of airport delays. Very, very important airport delays, I'll tell you. Later in the day, he toured the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. And this evening, the president attended and spoke at a Democratic fundraiser in Chicago. Baseball and fundraising, two things our president apparently considers more important than our dying veterans, or a U.S. Marine who remains locked up in a Mexican jail at this very hour. Here with the reaction is Texas Congressman Louie Gohmert. Louie, thanks for joining us. So what about it?
Sure.
The president's schedule, fundraising, baseball, airport delays, no Marines.
Well, at least that's one area he's been consistent, because as you know, the day after Benghazi, he was out in Las Vegas raising money and having a big campaign appearance. And it took 20 hours. It took longer to get a plane 20 hours after the Benghazi war started against our people than to get him there and back to Las Vegas for his big campaign. And let me also comment, Eric, on something our former speaker has said, where she's saying, well, you know, the VA's just overrun, that maybe she's basically saying President Bush should have counted the cost before he went to war. Well, let me tell you, let me talk about, just comment on that cost. President Bush, as commander, lost 625 precious American lives in Afghanistan in 7.25 years. This president, because of his incompetence, because of his standing orders on the rules of engagement and a lot of other issues relating to the president as commander, we have lost 1,628 American lives under his command in 5.25 years, about 2 years less. And under President Bush, we had 2,638 soldiers who were wounded badly. And under this president, in 2 years less, 16,366. And in fact, in his busy day he had talking about travel delays and things like that, he has averaged about 8.5 serious wounded Americans per day, 17 every 2 days under his command. So it was kind of difficult for President Bush to count the costs and anticipate you would have an incompetent commander-in-chief after he left office.
Right, Congressman, President Obama has said that he heard about what's going on at the VA because he saw it on the news, on a telecast. He said that also about Fast and Furious and the IRS, and I think the AP scandal as well. Tell us, do you think the commander-in-chief, very possibly the most powerful man on the planet, hears about these things because he watches, I don't know, Fox and Friends in the morning?
Well, that is true. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he had just heard about this through the news. That means exactly what many have said, is that he is not thinking about what he's reading from the teleprompter when he's reading it. Because you know, you've seen him, Eric, his speeches 2008, 2009, 2010, talking about the problems in the VA. So the only way he would not have known about them is if his critics are right and he puts his mind in neutral and simply reads from the teleprompters without thinking about what he is saying. Otherwise, he knew about it because he's talked about it in the past.
Well, they draw this little ring around it. It's called the plausible deniability ring. Congressman, let's talk about this. I wear this flag on my chest every day because I'm proud of this country and I'm proud of all the people who are fighting and dying for that freedom to wear that flag and to be on this television program. Speaker Boehner earlier today said that Eric Shinseki, Speaker Boehner has not called for his resignation yet. Speaker Boehner said it about himself. And he said, but he's getting darn close to it. What's it going to take for Speaker Boehner to make that call?
Well, I hope he's close to making that decision. For some of us, if you go 5.5 years and you haven't gotten anything accomplished in making things better in the Veterans Administration, then it's time for you to go. I respect and admire and appreciate his noble service as a war hero. But apparently, as a VA director, he is incompetent. It's time to get somebody in there who's going to be going to the hospitals, who's going to be on top of it. You have got to be on top of it and let people know that they can't be sure where you're going to show up. You're going to show up. You're going to ask for both books. You're going to make sure they're not treating people the way they've gotten treated. And he hasn't done that, Eric.
Congressman, I want to play the soundbite of Speaker Boehner earlier today. Take a listen.
I called for General Shinseki to resign, although I have to admit I'm getting a little closer. But here's the point. This isn't about one person. This isn't about the secretary. It's about the entire system underneath him. And, the general can leave, and we can wait around for months to go through a nomination process, and we get a new person, but the disaster continues.
Now, Congressman, listen, when healthcare.gov was broken, the website for Obamacare was broken, everyone and their brother on the right was saying it's time for Kathleen Sebelius to go. Why is Speaker Boehner not calling for Shinseki's job?
Well, it may have to do with his background, his noble background as a war hero. But I respect that. I admire it. But it's time for him to go. And, let's face it, the Speaker's been a little slow to call for a number of things that he should have much sooner. And so hopefully he's going to join the ranks of us that say it's time for this noble war hero but incompetent VA secretary to go and get somebody in to clean house.
All right, we'll leave right there. Congressman Gohmert, thank you very much for joining us tonight on Hannity.
Thank you.